Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I am so happy you are here with me today. So find a quiet place, get comfortable, and let your mind travel somewhere far away. Because today we are not going to talk about a footballer or a king. We are going to talk about a girl, a young girl from a small valley in Pakistan. A girl who was told to be quiet. A girl who was told to stay home. A girl who was told that her voice did not matter. But this girl refused to be silent. And her voice changed the world. This is the story of Malala Yousafzai. If you enjoy learning English through real stories about real people, make sure you follow storyline icons. Every story is a new lesson, and every lesson helps you grow. Now, let us begin. Our story starts in one of the most beautiful places on earth, a valley called Swat, in the northwest of Pakistan. Swat is surrounded by tall green mountains, clear rivers, and ancient forests. People called it the Switzerland of Pakistan. It was peaceful. It was stunning. It was home. On the 12th of July, 1997, a baby girl was born in Swat. Her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, was a teacher and a poet. He loved education more than anything in the world. And when his daughter was born, he did something unusual. In Pakistan, the birth of a girl is sometimes not celebrated. Some families feel disappointed. Some do not even record the girl's name. But Ziauddin was different. He registered his daughter's name proudly. He named her Malala, after a famous Afghan poet and warrior woman named Malala of Maiwand. And he looked at his small baby daughter and made her a silent promise. He would give her every opportunity he could. He would never let anyone silence her. Malala grew up in a simple home above her father's school. Her father ran a small private school in Swat called Kushal School. From her earliest years, Malala was surrounded by books, by learning, by the sound of children studying. She sat in on classes from a very young age. She listened to everything. She absorbed everything. She was curious about every single thing in the world. Her father always said that Malala was not like other children. She did not just learn. She questioned. She thought deeply. She argued. And from very early, she loved one thing above all else. She loved school. For a few years, life in Swat was normal and happy. Malala went to school every morning with her friends. She laughed. She studied. She competed to be top of her class. She was stubborn and determined and bright. And her father watched her and smiled. But then, something dark began to happen. In 2007, a group called the Taliban began taking control of the Swat Valley. The Taliban had a very strict and extreme interpretation of religion. They believed that girls should not be educated. They believed that women should stay at home and be silent. They began destroying schools, burning them, blowing them up. They announced on the radio that all girls' schools must close. They said that any girl who went to school would be punished. The people of Swat were terrified. Many families kept their daughters at home. Many schools closed their doors. The valley that had once been peaceful and beautiful became a place of fear. And Malala, who was only 10 years old, watched all of this happening. She could not understand it. She could not accept it. Why should she not be allowed to learn? What was so dangerous about a girl reading a book? These questions burned inside her, and she decided she would not stay silent. In Arlinenju, a journalist from the BBC asked for a young Pakistani girl who would write about life under the Taliban. Malala's father volunteered her. Malala agreed immediately. She was 11 years old. She began writing a diary for the BBC, using a secret name to protect herself. Her name was Gul Makai. It means cornflower in Pashto. She wrote about what life was like under Taliban rule. She wrote about the fear, the silence, the emptiness of closed schools. She wrote about girls who wanted to learn but were forbidden. She wrote with honesty, with courage, with the clear eyes of a child who simply could not understand injustice. Her diary was read by people all over the world. People were moved. People were shocked. A child's voice from a small valley in Pakistan was reaching every corner of the earth. And soon, the secret name was no longer enough to hide her. People began to discover who Gul Makai really was. Malala kept writing. Malala kept speaking. She gave interviews. She appeared on television. She spoke clearly and calmly about the right of every child to go to school. Her father stood beside her every step. He was proud. He was also afraid, because speaking against the Taliban was very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. In 2011, Malala received Pakistan's National Youth Peace Prize. The whole country knew her name now. International organizations began noticing her. She was nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize, and the more famous she became, the more the Taliban noticed her too. They issued a threat against her. They said she must be silenced. Her family was warned. Her school was warned. Some people begged Malala to stop speaking, but Malala refused. She said, "Even if they come for me, I will not stop." On the 9th of October, 2012, Malala boarded her school bus in Mingora, the main city of Swat. She was 15 years old. She sat with her friends. They were talking and laughing the way schoolgirls do. The bus stopped. A masked gunman stepped inside. He asked, "Which one of you is Malala?" No one answered, but the girls looked toward her instinctively. The gunman raised his weapon, and he shot Malala in the head. 2 other girls were also wounded. The bus driver drove desperately to the nearest hospital. Malala was unconscious. She was bleeding badly. The whole of Pakistan held its breath. News spread around the world within hours. A 15-year-old girl had been shot by the Taliban for going to school. Malala was airlifted to a military hospital in Peshawar, then to a specialist hospital in Birmingham, England. For days, she lay unconscious. Doctors worked desperately to save her life. The world waited. And then, slowly, miraculously, Malala began to recover. She woke up. She recognized her father. She asked for her school bag. She asked when she could go back to school. The doctors could not believe it. The nurses cried. A bullet had tried to silence her, but she was still here, still asking questions, still wanting to learn. The attack on Malala shocked the entire world. Millions of people signed petitions demanding the right to education for all children. World leaders condemned the attack. The United Nations launched a campaign in her name. The girl from Swat had become a symbol for every child who had ever been denied the right to learn. Malala recovered in Birmingham. Her family came to be with her, and slowly she understood that she could not go back to Pakistan. It was too dangerous. The Taliban had promised to try again. So England became her new home. A new country, a new school, a new chapter. But Malala did not rest. She did not hide. On the 12th of July 2013, exactly on her 16th birthday, Malala stood before the United Nations in New York. She was small. She was young. She wore a pink headscarf. And she spoke. She spoke about education, about peace, about the power of books and pens. She said, "One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world." The entire hall rose to their feet and applauded. A 16-year-old girl from a small valley in Pakistan was speaking to the leaders of the world. And every single person in that room was listening. In 2013, Malala published her autobiography. It was called I Am Malala. The book became a worldwide bestseller. People in every country read her story. Her words, written in simple, honest language, reached hearts everywhere. In 2014, something extraordinary happened. Malala Yousafzai was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. She was 17 years old. She became the youngest person in history to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. The youngest ever. When she heard the news, she was in school in Birmingham. In class, learning, exactly where she always wanted to be. She said later that it was the best place to hear such news. In school, always in school. Malala continued her education in England. She studied philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford University, one of the most famous universities in the world. She graduated in Arlene, and she kept working. She and her father established the Malala Fund, an organization dedicated to fighting for 12 years of free quality education for every girl in the world. The fund works in countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nigeria, India, Brazil, and many more, because there are still millions of girls around the world who cannot go to school. And Malala has not forgotten a single one of them. In 2017, Malala was named a United Nations Messenger of Peace. In 2021, she returned to Pakistan for the first time since the attack. She stood on the soil of her homeland. Again, she visited her valley. She breathed the mountain air of Swat, and she cried. She was still fighting. She would always be fighting. And so, my friends, we come to the end of our journey through the life of Malala Yousafzai. We traveled from the beautiful green valley of Swat, where a small girl first fell in love with learning. We saw her find her voice when the world told her to be silent. We saw her survive the unthinkable. We saw her stand before the United Nations at 16 years old and speak words that echoed across the entire planet. And we saw her become the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner in history. Malala Yousafzai is not finished. She is still young. She is still fighting. Every single day, She wakes up and works for the millions of girls who cannot go to school. Not because she has to, because she knows what it feels like to almost lose that right forever. And to you, the English learner listening right now, think about what you are doing at this very moment. You are learning. You are growing. You are using your mind. In many parts of the world, this simple thing, sitting and learning, is not simple at all. It is a privilege. It is a gift. It is something worth protecting. So honor it. Take it seriously. Show up every day and learn. Because somewhere in the world, right now, a girl is risking everything just for the chance to do what you are doing. If this story moved you, please leave a comment below. Tell us which part of Malala's journey touched you the most. Subscribe to Storyline Icons so you never miss a new story. And share this video with someone who needs a little inspiration today. We will see you in the next story. Until then, take care of yourself, keep learning, and remember, one voice, one child, one book can change the world.